Okay, let's do this one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Bwtm Sports. Got a special one for you tonight. I've got my cousin back, Mr. King Keston from America. So a brother I look up to very, very much, not just in the sport of boxing, but in life. I like to talk to him, hear his opinion, things. Love to talk to him more often, and now we've got him back on the show. So I'll get him to reintroduce himself, and then we'll go straight into talking about boxing. This is what I'm kind of looking forward to. Cuz, how are we doing?
Doing all right, man. Glad to be back on. It's been a while.
It has been a while indeed. So for people who don't quite remember who you are, or first time they're listening to you, just give people a bit about yourself.
I mean, I feel so far removed from where we were the last time, but just to go over a bunch of things. I used to box a while back, and I trained at the same place with the Klitschko's, Shannon Briggs, Michael Moore. It was a bunch of people, and I actually worked a lot with Michael Moore, and I also, while I was training and boxing and everything back then, I was also a casting director. So I worked with a lot of different people, from the Thins to Too Fast, Too Furious, to what was it, Bad Boys 2, Justin and Kelly. Like I worked on a lot of different films. Back then I was just like working, getting extras and stuff, but I was in the game for a while, and I used to manage Flow Rider. A couple different artists that didn't really blow up big, like Booby Monroe and stuff, but we put her in movies, and so I've been working with fighters, actors, artists, for a while, and now we started our own YouTube.
Don't forget Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, the Hogans, yes. Yeah, and basically we just started our YouTube channel for my passion other than boxing, which is cars, as you know. So we started a YouTube channel called Race Car Friends, and now I do mostly photography and management, marketing. I market for a lot of people here, and then and I'm trying to, when I have spare time, when I'm not with the kids and all that, then I'm also building up our channel and trying to get it where I want it to be.
Right, so for those people who want to know about the channel, what's the channel called again? Let me flash that up at the bottom for me. Tell me what the channel's name again is, for those people who want to check it out and subscribe.
Yeah, it's Race Car Friends. So like race and then a car and then friends. And it's basically just about people that are into like fast cars or fun cars, and you get to see us racing, going to the track, and talking about cars, driving cars, test driving cars, and just the whole car lifestyle, the whole auto industry lifestyle. That's pretty much what we do in there. And I'm probably going to start talking more about boxing, because one of my favorite fighters is getting ready to go and be a 2-time heavyweight champ. So I'm probably going to be talking about that on the channel at some point.
So yeah, I'll just mute myself. But yeah, at the bottom there, that is King Keston's YouTube channel. Subscribe to Race Car Friends. Check that out. So get on there, subscribe, and just tell them, yep, you're Ingram's cousin. That's why I've subscribed. But I've also subscribed because you've got some quality videos on the channel. But let them know you've come from Bwtm Sports. All right. So great for that.
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 3. How much were you bamboozled by the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua constant media circus with Eddie Hearn?
I mean, I've seen Eddie Hearn do that in a tour, but I don't think it was him losing. I feel Eddie Hearn is so passionate about bidders and stuff that he really jumps the gun. I believes that everybody feels the way he does, and he'll go out and start promoting a fight before all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. So I think he genuinely believed that they were going to get the fight done, and he was just jumping the gun, assuming that all was well. But I don't think that's how Top Rank, and they were the ones that were kind of, you know, playing games. I don't, you know. So I feel like Hearn believed it, like, which wasn't the smartest thing to do. And then he went out and started everyone believing in it, and it didn't really happen. Now, mind you, I don't think Eddie Hearn feels like he like it's a huge loss. I think for him, we hit the state champion a lot longer, because I think deep down inside him and a lot of other people feel would beat Anthony Joshua, and I feel he feels that same way about other too. So, you know, deep down inside, I feel like Eddie Hearn to protect his fighter, which I get sense. You know, I believe on that particular fight, he was just looking at the dollars, and I think he got over Zane's, and he's you know jumping basically.
Now, we had Coach Chris from Maryland in America, of course, and he came in and he told us from December, nah, Wilder Fury are going to fight for the third time in the summer of 2021. How the hell did he know that in December, but one of the biggest promoters in the world didn't know anything about the arbitration? Can you work that one out?
I feel there's people that's top ranked, the people that are close to top rank and that was close to how things were on this side of the pond. They were in the know. They knew going on. Like I feel they knew going on. And may have had an inkling going on, but the people in the mid side, they knew. Eddie Hearn is still kept out of those circles a little bit over here. I feel like he's not all of those Americans here. So there's information that he too, and then there's some that he isn't. I could be wrong. They were all in on it, and it was just a way to keep this going, all of their names going up to this fight happen. So it could be something that they all worked on, and you know. But my feeling is that Eddie Hearn was just kind of left out of the loop on this one.
Do you think it was for purpose? Do you think Top Rank and Frank Warren wanted to teach Eddie a lesson, or what?
Yes, I believe so. Because if right now, and mind you, I'm just like most people don't really like Eddie. I believe he's the best promoter on the planet. I feel, you know, between him and Dana White, they're just, you know, promoted. When I say Dana White, Dana White took some horror fighters and turned that company into like a billion dollar company. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to give him for that. You know, and I think Hearn is able to kind of see before it happens. See certain things happen, and he jumps out on it, and that's part of the problem that he had with this fighter. Like he saw what he can do, and he's like, "Oh man, we whether win, lose, or draw, we need to do this, lose, spin it that he lost it and we'll cut it more money, you know. But I feel like Eddie Hearn is one of the top promoters, and because young. All of the old heads, all guys, they're like, man, screw that, like, you know, and keep them out of their circle.
Don't know if it's me, but from your end, you're I'm getting feedback and I'm hearing you, but you're speaking twice. So I don't know if that's the microphone from your end, but it sounds like you're repeating. So you're speaking and you're repeating. So check your mic if it's a mic you're speaking from or a headset. Just check the connection on that.
It's for my phone, so who knows, man. I didn't set it up on a computer. I'm doing it from my phone. So, yeah.
Cool. No worries. Okay, so talk to me your thoughts about Wilder's accusations of Fury, the stuff in his head, the swelling on his head, obviously the dent in his forehead, coming to the ring, people saying he was on COVID, he had COVID, hence why he looked off balance in the fight. What's your take on it?
I don't know what was wrong, but I know something was definitely wrong with Wilder for that fight. He didn't look like how he normally looks. Like from the I didn't like honestly what I thought it was. I was like, man, he probably had sex the day before the fight or something. He had no legs. His legs were gone, you know. And I don't know. He just seemed odd. I think it's either he's not aware what happened, or he's trying to figure out why he didn't feel right. Right. I mean, and he just didn't feel himself, and he was looking for ways to explain it. I do believe, however, that Fury is a cheater. Will and find a way to cheat. I've been checking his interviews recently, and Warner said to him, said, "Hey, what are you going to do this fight? Because everybody's going to be scrutinizing so closely. You're not going to be able to cheat or do anything." And his response was, "Oh, I'm like Houdini. You're going to try to stop me, and I'll still find a way." Caught himself saying that, and he changed the subject completely. Like, I'll see if I can find you the interview, and I'll send it to you. So I think it was on ESPN. Those actual words. He says, "I'm like Houdini."
For me, what I find just absolutely, the guy, there've been several incidents where Fury's been caught in situations, compromising positions. We had the Christian Hammer fight where the referee literally stopped the bout and was looking at his gloves. We had the the Cunningham fight where he literally held Cunningham with one hand and uppercutting with the other hand, blatantly in front of our face. We had the Wilder second fight where he literally got his leg and tripped Wilder, kicked him and tripped him up. That caused the first knockdown. Blatant things were seen. Nah, he didn't cheat. Nah, he's not a cheater. Yeah, the guy got banned for 2 years for boxing, suspended for boxing BDs. UCAD were chasing this guy to find out what the hell's going on, right? In terms of contracts, it's like he had a contract with Mick Hennessy, and then he went to Frank Warren, and he's like, he didn't honor the contract. So he hasn't honored the contract, and then he was trying not to honor the contract again with his fight with Wilder, the third fight. So you tell me, if a person's history and character doesn't come back over and over again to show where they kind of, there's a shortfall or almost a character trait there where he doesn't want to honor contracts. It's not the first time he's trying to get out of a fight now. Klitschko, where he had the Klitschko fight, and then he got himself somehow the other at that Klitschko situation where he never looked comfortable. I mean, when I was talking to him, I did that interview with him. When I was talking to him, he did not seem comfortable with the Klitschko rematch. It was almost as if like the Klitschko contract had something in it that he was like, "Nah, I don't like this contract. I don't like this contract. I don't like where this is taking me." And then we had the situation with him breaking down, the mental health. And then somebody said to me the other day that they heard that Fury said that he's got no mental health issues. So I don't know what's going on, but something isn't right.
So look at this, right? And I don't want to take this down. I don't know if you could say it's racial lines or whatever it is. But Tyson Fury calls himself the Gypsy King, right? Like, and just with that mentality, I think in his mind, he feels he can wiggle out of any situation. He's the trickster. He's the low of the bunch. I mean, he's like Loki. Like, he feels like he can do little things and get away with it, and nobody's smarter. Nobody's able to figure him out. Nobody's able to catch on what he's. Which if you, I'm actually friends with a couple of gypsies, and they talk to me, and they pride themselves on being smarter and being able to outsmart people with almost everything they do, from predictions to to negotiating things. That's like a thing. Like me, they tell me as a friend, like, because I asked one of them, I was like, "Hey, you know how you all keep reading people's future? Is that real? Is that real?" They're like, "No, man, we just outsmart people. We know, we can see." We can read body language. We can see what they're doing and formulate off their own emotions. So I think with him calling himself the Gypsy King, I think he feels that he's a step above everyone else. He's that much smart, and he's gonna play the game wants to. If you try to make him fight a fair fight, he's gonna just leave and go on to the next one and come up with whatever story, and and he's free and there. And that's what I think. Fury, I think if you put Fence against another fighter that's smart and understands what he's doing, at least understand the games he's playing, he doesn't want that fight. He wants to keep people in the dark, and as he says, keep being Houdini.
What do you take of Wilder's behavior and his thought process and the way he's behaving now in the rematch coming into this fight? People say he's mentally broken and he don't want to fight Fury, and he got smashed twice already. So why does he want to fight Fury again? He's going to get beaten the same way again. What are your thoughts on what people are saying about that?
With Wilder, hold on. Oh man, I'm just watching where she's walking further and further away. Sorry. So yeah, I just put in a little walker, and she just keeps moving further and further back. But but now I felt there has the weight of the world on his shoulder. I believe with him, he feels like he's standing for all black. He's representing the black struggle, and I think because of where he grew up in the South and everything, he's seen a lot of racial injustice, and he feels like he's our change. He needs to right all the wrong by winning, and I feel that's putting a lot of extra pressure on him that doesn't need to be there as a fighter. And like he takes it so seriously. He has this huge on his shoulder, and he feels that he's carrying the weight of all of us on his shoulder. That it's making him get to a point where the way he can function is to block everything out and just focus on the fight. He has to block all the noise that's in his head. He has to block it all out and be like, you know what? All I'm thinking about is this guy. All I'm thinking about is how I'm going to win and just stay in the zone as far as that goes. Like 100% locked in right now. I feel like I said, when he lost the second time, I could tell he felt like something wasn't right. Just like all of us watched him can tell, But, so he didn't seem right. We don't know. Like I said, Fury's a trickster, so we don't know what Fury pulled off, or if Fury was able to sabotage his war or whatever. But I feel right now with Wilder, he locked in, and he's looking to come back and reclaim, his belt. But I really feel like he needs to kind of take some of that extra weight off his shoulder and just keep it at boxing. Just keep it at boxing. Go in there, it's the game plan. Do what you got to do. Then once you've won, then you can go ahead and talk about the things that are on your shoulders. You want to talk and get off your chest. He probably needs to stay away from his wife for a little bit. Stay away from her. Nothing. Be locked into the fight. Go in there like an animal.
Keep away from his wife. Yeah, I think that's a common consensus by most people. Keep away from the wife, because the wife seems like a bit of a honeypot, so a sweet pot as well. Keep away from that. You need all the aggression for this fight. But mind you, he's talking Gaza like revenge, and the way he's talking revenge, the way Wilder's been talking revenge, I said to people before, the way he's behaving is like somebody who's been underhandedly beaten, not like a guy who's been beaten on the up. Yeah, you beat me, you're a better fighter, that's fine. No, I've gone back, and the punches you hit me with, they weren't right. The way you're behaving hasn't been right. Where's baby? Hello. Blackout. Beautiful Father's Day. That's what it is. By the way, while I'm at it, happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the world. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. You know what they say about children and cameras, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, no, I said happy Father's Day to you too, man. I almost said mate.
So, your thoughts on almost Malik Scott? How do you think Malik Scott is going to help Wilder for this third fight? And have you seen improvements?
I mean, I've seen improvements just from his footwork, his head movement. I see like he's hiding his right hand a little bit more with the jab. He's putting the jab up and kind of disguising where the right hand's coming from. So I do believe if he's moving the way how I'm seeing he's moving and being a little bit trickier than how he normally is, setting up the right hand, you know, I feel like he's probably going to knock Fury out, because he's gonna get hit with something. He coming out and he can't understand what happened until after like a day or two after the fight. Because I do feel like Wilder's gonna catch him, but I think more importantly than the stuff that I've seen, and I don't know if they're training this, I feel like Wilder has to learn how to fight going backwards as well as going forwards. I feel like, you know, he has to be able to, you know, to kind of be a counter puncher in a way, and wait for Fury to do his thing. And then as soon as Fury's combination is done, bow, hit him with a body shot, hit him with a headshot, you know, hit him with stuff that he hasn't seen or felt before.
What amazes me is that we've seen Fury go down twice in the fight before. People still think that it's impossible for Wilder to win this fight by knockout, which to me is like, it's like the elephant in the room. This guy is the most devastating puncher in heavyweight boxing, and you all kind of like, you believe the hype so much, you believe all the other hype, that you're not paying attention to what is blatant red alert. This is danger, danger, danger. And because people are caught up in the false media and all the lamestream media, and they believe all that stuff, this is why they call the word, it's an upset. It's not upset. You could see it coming. It's right there. But because it's so biased and so racist in the way they even put things together in the media, they deliberately overlook what a person's doing. So when a person does come round and produce the goods, it's like, oh, it's a shock. Just like the Wilder Fury third fight announcement. Old media were jumping on the Fury versus Joshua story. They were trying to denounce Wilder, character assassination, make Wilder look out to be an idiot, make Wilder look out to be a madman. What can they say now? They have to literally backtrack now, because the fact of the matter is, whether you like him or not, the third fight is happening, and you have to write about it, because that's how you make your money. You see? So they're in a situation here. Old media has been exposed yet again, and new media, who's telling you all, look, there's an arbitration here. You need to pay attention to it. I kept saying, Wilder's still at the table. For a crazy man, he's still at the table. Why hasn't he left? And why hasn't Fury fought since the last time they fought? People don't want to answer those questions because, you know, we're new media. We don't know what we're talking about. Trust the old media. This is where trust gets you, with old media. Your thoughts?
I feel like old media is dying slowly but surely, and I think that a lot of the things that we grew up seeing and basically just accepting are gonna fall to the wayside now, because lies can only dominate for so long. You know, the truth comes out eventually, as Wilder likes to say, the truth shall set you free. So the truth, I believe, is coming out with a lot of different things, and you just can't stick to the same games that you've been playing in the past. Now, I wanted to go back to something else that you had brought up with Malik Scott. I feel like Malik Scott is a perfect match for Wilder, because Malik thinking man. So he has the mentality to defeat. Wilder has the body and the heart and everything else to do it. You know, put Malik Scott mind with, you know, with everything else that Deontay Wilder has. That's a terrible combination for the rest of the heavyweight division. You know, so you know, I looking ahead, the only person I see really giving Wilder some trouble in the future, and I'm going to wait to see how much better he gets, is going to be F.A. Ajagba, because I've seen F.A. so much better from one fight about a year ago to his last fight recently. I was like, okay, this guy's made some. He's like a lot faster. His timing's a little bit better. So if he keeps improving, he's going to be a problem as well. But I feel like Wilder is going to be the king for a long time. I feel like Wilder, unless somehow Fury's able to do a Houdini thing again, and and escape Wilder, But I do believe it's going to finish with Fury, and then Wilder. I don't think Eddie Hearn is going to be in a rush to get Anthony Joshua in the ring with Wilder. It's going to be inevitable. And Wilder will be the undisputed champ in a short time.
Mandatories count. Mandatories. So mandatories are more important than undisputed. Remember, you heard it right here. Mandatories are more important than undisputed. What's your thoughts, by the way, on Joshua versus Usyk?
I think this is the right time for Joshua to fight Usyk. I think if he's going to do what he needs to, because Usyk is still getting his frame into that heavyweight frame, and though he's a very fighter and very good, I still feel, Joshua has the frame and the being a trait. He has just enough skill and experience to beat Usyk at this point. I feel if you let Usyk get a little bit bigger and stronger and used to being a heavyweight, then he's going to be a problem as well. But I don't know if he doesn't have as much time as FA Joshua does. I feel like once Wilder's gone, the job is going to be a problem. And by the time Usyk gets really good, I think he's going to be up there in age. Feel like FA will boost Usyk. I also feel Joe Joyce is a problem.
That's my boy. That's my boy, Joe Joyce. I called him the Cultural Foreman.
Yes, man. Good one. Good spot on that one, because he reminds me of him, And he's just, he's not as big yet, but I see he's still putting on size. And yeah, he's going to be a major problem as well. But even if he fought Wilder at this point, if Wilder is where I think he is mentally and everything, because with Wilder, Wilder's going to knock all of them out, So, but we still have to wait and see how against Fury, because like I said, if he loses to Fury again, that is going to be mentally damaging to him. And like I said, I have to that he really Houdini like he said he is. Like, he's able to trick his way to situations. We just got to see whether somebody's going to be able to stop it and doing that this time.
I think that there's going to be some tricks from the Wilder camp this fight round. I really think so. I don't think they're going to. I think there'll be tricks this time from the Wilder camp for sure. For sure. And if he knocks out Fury, I want to hear how many people who want to call up for a full fight.
I think, okay, this is my way of thinking, right? And I think I think when and if Wilder Fury, I think Fury's done for boxing and will never fight it. I believe the knockout is going to be such devastation that Fury will never want to risk fighting Wilder. That's my belief, because I think he got away with what he got away with, in the first two fights. And fair play to him, he does have heart. He has a lot of heart. He has a lot of skill, but he's also a trickster, And I feel like once the Wilder,
your volume's going.
I said, if the Wilder can't figure out his tricks, and they're able to bust it, then that end game for Fury. I feel like Wilder will knock him out, but he's devastating fast. I don't think Fury is ever going to want to fight again.
Your sound. Hello. Your sound.
She's like messing with the phone. My bad.
That's all right. I told you, children and cameras, they're not a good mix.
Yeah. She's literally like keeps hitting my phone.
Cool. Yeah. Just to finish, I was going to go back to the accusations that Wilder's made. Do you believe those accusations Wilder's made, or do you think there is? He said COVID. There's some talk about COVID as well. What are your thoughts on that?
I think all of the accusations that he made or things that were said could be true. I just know something was wrong, something was off. We don't know exactly what it is. So any one of them could be true, or a bunch of them can be true, you know. But I feel like, and I feel like it's important. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, even if it's true, he shouldn't have brought it up." I feel it's important that he brought it up and put the spotlight that on Fury's games and tricks stuff. So on this fight now, we're going to be aware and looking out for it. So it gives Fury less of a chance to be able to do it again.
Just going to go through these comments before we end. Evening, good evening to you, sir. I hope the connection is going to go soon. See here, 2-time. Wonder how much Savage Senior has to suffer. if you could disown a son, that son would be the one you disown. I think it's a matter of the best Fury possible showed up and beat the worst Wilder possible. The other things are still pending investigation and FOI requests. Let's see them at their best. Okay, let's go down quickly. Simply the same. Best man on light win, no excuses. Let's hope so. I'm sure there will be excuses either way. And Wilder has spoken before about sex the day of a possible fight, so he did have some of this before. This was my first thought when I saw his legs. Telly Swift got him, but then more came out. Oh, dear me. If Wilder's not going to fight backwards, he needs to come straight forward and claim this middle of ring. Absolutely. Can't be off the back foot. Fury himself said, after I got him, there was a blank spot. I woke up and the referee was over me counting. That tells you the power Wilder has from round 1 to round 12. He's always dangerous. AJ's never going to fight Wilder. Scared coward. Yep, the audio was getting weak and we did fix that. So yeah, any closing thoughts, King Keston?
So I think this it's probably the goal of Wilder knocking out Fury by, I'd say, by the 6th to 7th round. That's how I see it going. I think it's going to happen between that time frame. Because he's seen him in 2 fights before. He understands. I'm pretty sure with Malik Scott, he's gone back to the drawing board and figured out all the mistakes that he made and what he needs to do. There's only 2 things that I think will change that outcome is if he does have sex the day of or the day before the fight. That could mess things up. And also, if Fury is able to, like you said, pull another Houdini trick out and figure out a way around everything Wilder's coming with. Because, like I said, fair play to Fury. He's a very tricky fighter, and I think he's willing to do any and everything to win. I think he does have a lot of heart and a lot of skill. So he's a tough outing for any fighter, for anybody to fight. But I feel his night ultimately will be Wilder. I feel that Wilder is going to knock him out by the 6th or 7th round.
And just final thing, what have you made of John Fury's father contrasting comments? In the second fight, he was like, my son, I'll bet David Haye my life, my son. This time he's like, my son, he's made a mistake, shouldn't fight Wilder, should have taken a Joshua fight. Come home and think about it.
I think so. This is another thing to believe that they were cheating, and I think now that Wilder has figured out cheating, and he's like, well, we can't if we're just fighting straight up. Why are we going to do this? This is too much of a risk. It's like, what if we're not able to dilute his power? What able to stop him from what he does best? What if he hits you? Then we don't have a plan for it. There's nothing we can do about that, So I think that's his father's. I mean, anybody that gets Wilder, that there's a good chance not to be knocked out. And I think now that Wilder has seen everything and gone through everything and been to like the lows, I think that he's going to figure out all Fury's tricks and I do believe he's out. So you know, no father wants to see that happen to their son. So. And I think they all can feel it. You know, Fury's putting on a brave face and everything, but I think deep down inside, even he knows it. So we got to wait until fight night.
Thank you so much, Cuz, for being on the show. Once again, King Keston, check out his and subscribe to his YouTube channel, Race Car Friends, and he's going to do some boxing talk as well. And if you don't know about him, spool the tape back to the beginning. You can get to know everything about King Keston, or enough for you to want to subscribe to his Race Car Friends YouTube channel. That's it from us. Cuz.
Thanks for having me, cuz. I really appreciate it.
There you go. As I was saying before, StreamYard cut me off. Cuz, thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you so much, and we should do this more often.
I agree. It's always fun talking to you, cuz.
Right. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
All right. Thanks, man.